Good day, everyone. My name is Bernard Gerona from West Visayas State University. In my study is all about understanding religious and cultural practices among Muslims in a highly urbanized city in the Philippines, an ethnographic study. As part of my introduction, Islamic faith is grounded on five pillars, which is fundamentals in Islamic belief. One of it is Al-Salah, which is all about prayer, which I'm going to highlight in the discussion. Being faithful to Quran is crucial requisite in Islam. Six articles of faith, which is believed to be the core foundation of Islam and is the evidence of Islamic devotion. It is a belief in Islam that life here on earth is preparatory and temporary, that genuine life is in paradise. The key in entering paradise is through one's death, and everything is upon God's mercy. In this study, the location is culturally and religiously Christian dominated. Understanding the Muslim community in Western Visayas, whose socio-geographical location is dominantly Christian barangay, is highly significant and interesting. Their houses are sporadically located in different parts of the said islands, and their house of worship or masjid is located within the Christian communities. Unlike in southern Mindanao, where houses and places of worship are predominantly Islamic, where Muslims do not hold a minority status. But in this case, it is significant to know their cultural and religious practices, their experiences, manner of dressing, belief system, and other socio-cultural practices due to their contacts from non-Muslim community in Western Visayas. As part of my statement of the problem, this study aimed to immerse on the religious and cultural life of Muslims in a highly urbanized city. Specifically, it seeks to understand the following. One, what are the beliefs of Muslims about religion? Two, what are the beliefs of Muslims about social-cultural life? And third, how this religion and social life affect their social reality. As part of my methodology, it utilized ethnography to capture the holistic cultural portrait of the group sharing from the participant perspective, specifically their cultural practices and beliefs. It intended to understand the religious and cultural practices of Muslims in a highly urbanized city in Western Visayas. As part of my research locale, the social milieu of the research locale is in the center of commerce where it ranges from food hub to a commercial complex. The participants of the study are members of the Muslim community chosen after the confirmation with the consent from their leaders. It was done through utilization of snowball method, where criteria were laid down in which the participants fulfill all the criteria, then they become the participants of the study. These are the data gathering, which is focused on immersion, specifically on the participant observation, memoing, and deep interview, where in the participant observation, the researcher immerse themselves in the daily activities, specifically on the religious and cultural practices of of Muslims in their own localities, or specifically in masjid. There are several validation strategies that is integrated in the study. The first one is theoretical triangulation, the second one is clarifying, and the third one is member checking. The purpose of this validation strategies is to make sure that the data gathered were was able to obtain credibility from the findings interpretation. To further interpret the data that had been gathered, coding in analytic meme writing by Saldana was utilized. In order for this research to provide proper source descriptions grounded on the experiences of the participants and the realities of the religious and social-cultural life. As part of the discussion of the study, the following theme were came from the data, specifically the number one, prayer, al-salah. Second, burial. Third, belief on the afterlife. Fourth, love, sex, and marriage. Fifth, punishment and pardon. And lastly, sixth, stories in history. These are the themes that had been gathered from the data as part of the thematic analysis in the retelling of their experiences. I would like to point it out spreadly. in his own words. I want to understand the world from your point of view. I want to know what you know the way you know it. I want to understand the meaning of your experience, to walk in your shoes, to feel things as you feel them, to explain things as you explain them. Will you become my teacher and help me understand? This leads us to the first one, Al-Salah, prayer to Allah. Prayer plays a vital role among Muslims in reverence to their God, Allah. They call the prayer as Al-Salah. It is a guide to pray in a in a way to have a successful relationship with Allah and then the afterlife. 5 times a day prayer is essential from dawn to evening in an Islamic faith. For them, through prayer, all forms of demon will be gone in one's life. Before praying, it is requisite for Muslim to wash their body. They believe that through prayer, you start a day in a fresh thought. The second one is burial. Burial is also essential among Muslims. Death is way to paradise. When I was able to visit the burial grounds among Muslims, the hole is more or less 4 to 5 feet in depth, with few feet through the hole with the right on the side beneath. The burial place was prepared with hollow blocks before the body is placed within. It is a must to bury the body within 24 hours, whether the family is around or not. Embalming is prohibited, and what is required is to cleanse the body with perfume and roll it with a white cloth as cover. For Muslims, it is important to bury the body in the ground. It must be placed where the body kissed and placed on the ground where the face leans. Another theme is the afterlife, a life in paradise. To be in paradise is an ultimate dream among Muslims. Muslims believe that when you die, you will ask by the two angels of God and ask three questions. The first one is who is your God, the second one who is your prophet, the third one is what is your religion or who is your imam. The body will remain in the ground after the judgment day. Its visibility to be in Mecca, the spirit returns to the body. If there's regret, then that is not the paradise. The paradise is God's rewards to his faithful, specifically those who worship Allah and obey what is in Quran. Another theme is love, sex, and marriage, sweets in Islamic life. It holds a significant part in their corresponding requirements before entering marriage, and there is underlying consequences. Before going to marriage, there are qualifications to be considered, specifically wealth, money. Sexual satisfaction are also part of married life. Financial and sexual satisfaction is essential in their daily activities. If not, it will lead to quarrel between couples. In sexual satisfaction, they have 12 sweets, a guide for sexual satisfaction. They believe that prayer while having an intercourse will result to an obedient child. When a Muslim have more than one wife, scheduling and arrangement is highly recommended. Dowry is necessary in the preparation for marriage. It can be in the form of money or material goods asked by the woman or her family. The woman asks what she wants. A woman is allowed to get married on the first menstruation or menarche, while a man is allowed in his first wet dreams or the nocturnal emission, regardless of age. Once at age, they are allowed to get to know each other as they mature. They are also allowed to get married to each other. It, their marriage is a parents to parents marital arrangement. If there's a courtship, there's a rules to follow. That a man and a woman are together is not allowed, especially at night. The woman must be accompanied by her relative, but this case is not allowed to a man. Marriage is presided by the imam. In some instances, non-imam is allowed. if if an imam is not available. Before they get married, both of them or the man is a Muslim, believing that a man has highly influence over a woman. Divorce is allowed in Islam. Financial problem is the usual reason as to why couples divorce. If divorce had been conducted, rules are followed in the child custody. If the child is the boy, then the custody is to the mother. If it's a girl, it is given to the father. Girls are given attention in the child custody. If the father is dead, the in-laws will have the custody. They have the belief that there's a possibility that the stepfather may have may not have a good influence to the unmarried girl. Property and inheritance are also vital in Islamic life. Dowry, if given to the wife, then it was solely owned by her. If it is a conjugal property, then both of the husband are the owner of the property. If it is acquired by both of them, then it's still part of the conjugal property. If it is acquired not part of the conjugal property, then it is either by the wife or the husband. If the husband dies, the wife will own it. If separated, then it will be divided. Islam has rules on punishment and forgiveness. It varies from one situation to another situation. They believe that it is the demon who tempted the person to sin in the person who commits it. They also believe in repentance, mercy. But for them, it is better to forgive. It is better to forgive the person of all the wrongdoings and let Allah punish him for his sins. They said that they came from the southern Mindanao as part of another theme. The culture practices a mixture of religion and ethnicities. Most of their ethnic origin is Maranao, while there are other denominations. Every ethnicities in Mindanao have different languages. But when they see each other, they either use Tagalog or Hiligaynon if they are in the city so that they can understand each other. There are stories and histories of Islam in locality. They started migrated in 1983. Their migration may be either for vacation or permanently residing. They are selling goods to the people in the different places in the island. When accustomed to the city, they rarely go home in Mindanao. There are Muslims who are fond of their Ilongga wife because they are sweet and lovely according to them. Their occupation varies from being a teacher, engineer, businessman, etc. Just like other religious groups, they engage in professional and business activities. To conclude all the things that I have discussed, from introduction to statement of the problem, to the methodology, data gathering methods, and all other strategies to validate the data that had been gathered and observed, up to the discussion, this conclusion shows that there are countable numbers of mosques in the different parts of the city. It shows that there is a coexistence among the Ilonggos and the Muslims here in the highly urbanized city. The experiences of the Muslims was able to confirm it. This city became their safe haven. People are accommodating according to them. They can coexist. They can practice their own religion. They can uphold their social cultural beliefs. And lastly, Islamic teaching are highly significant among Muslims, especially the relationship with Allah and maintaining the religious identity. Thank you very much and good day.